Today we're going to be doing toilet installation. I've done two other videos before this. One was the installation of these shower doors, and the other was the removal of the original toilet that was here that was about 30 years old. If you want to see those, there's a link at the end of this video to the playlist that'll have all these bathroom projects. So let's take a look at the toilet that I bought for this. Alright, so this is the Members Mark toilet. Picked this up at Sam's Club. This is the same toilet, at least it looks to be the same toilet that was sold at Costco for a number of years, and now it's under the Members Mark brand. At Sam's, this sells for about $95, which is very cheap for a toilet, although it gets good reviews. A friend of mine's installed about 10 of these in different houses, and he said he'll keep installing them because they're great toilets, never any issues. So it's dual flush. It's got a 1.1 gallon flush for the small flush, and then 1.6 gallons for the big flush. It's got this slow close seat, so the seat won't drop and make a big noise. The flush buttons are on top of the tank, so keep that in mind. If you have anything that covers your tank, that would be an issue. And it gets 5 stars on their rating, where they rate how well it flushes solids down the toilet, and it gets the highest rating there. So I think it's going to be a great toilet, and I'm going to install it. Let's do it. All right, so let's take a look and see what's in this box. Alright, so there's our bowl. Looks good. It comes with hardware. So what's in this hardware pack? Oh, it's got a wax ring, and then our bolts for the flange. The bowl mounts to the floor. So that's in there in a nice heavy plastic, so this doesn't get damaged. Also, it comes with a water line that goes from your valve on the wall to the bottom of the tank. This is a 12-inch line as possible, based on where your valve is on the wall, that you could need a longer line. They sell these in 14 and 16, 20, different sizes. And then we've got our instructions here. Everything seems to be packaged well in the box. We'll take this out. Here we've got our toilet seat. This is a slow close seat. It does feel like pretty lightweight plastic. Not sure how that's going to be to sit on. We'll look at that later. And we've got our dual flush tank. If we look inside the tank, here's where the two buttons move up and down to select which flush on the inside of the toilet. This is mounted upside down in here. So as you can see, all the hardware is already in the tank. So this will just get bolted to the back of the bowl, and this will seal right here, and then your two bolts go in these holes. So that's it. Got some additional hardware. There's the seal that I just mentioned. Little caps to go over your flange bolts. And that's it. So let's see how this installs. Alright, so before we get started installing the toilet, a few things you want to do while the toilet's out. Make sure the floor is clean and flat. This was really discolored. This flooring's over 30 years old. So make sure this is clean. Make sure this piece is in good condition. It needs to be either flush with the floor, or maybe a 1/4 inch above the surface of the floor. If it's below the floor, they make a spacer you can get to bring the surface of this up a little bit higher. And this is clean, believe it or not, or at least it's flat. It's just really discolored. If this was cracked, they also make a metal trim ring to go over it that would seal any of those cracks. Or you could replace it. It's not that difficult to replace, although I won't be doing that in this video. One thing we'll need to do is pull these bolts out of here. There's the bolt where the original toilet bolted to the flange here. So now that this is clean, it's not broken, it's at a good level, it's just above the surface of the floor. I'm going to pull these bolts out, we'll put the new bolts in and get the wax ring in place. And again, just clean off any debris. Okay, so maybe a little bit easier to see how the new bolts go on here. You'll see, you'll just put them in the larger end of the slot and turn it sideways. Put it in, turn it like that. And then it's not going to come out. Now these have a little plastic sleeve that goes on that holds this into place once you get it on there. So you'll just do it like that, turn it the right way, and then just push this sleeve down over the bolt. That's it, now it's not going anywhere. If you want, you may be able to turn this bolt to tighten up the sleeve even more. That should be tight enough. And the washer and the nut we'll put on after we put the toilet in place. Now we're ready for the wax ring. And this stuff is very sticky. Try not to get it on anything. And as soon as you're done, if you're wearing gloves, which you should be for this, just take them off and throw them away and get a new set of gloves. Because this wax will get on everything and it's hard to clean off because it's so sticky. So when you put this on, you're going to put this flange side down into there. So any water that flows from the toilet goes through here and it's funneled into your drain. And it's going to go just like that. Just kind of set that in place, push down just a little bit. Not enough to deform this, but just enough to make it stick to your trim down here. Alright, throw this away, get some new gloves. One other thing real quick. They made these bowls extra long in case your flange is lower, you'll have enough bolt here for the toilet to catch on. If you've got more than, say, like the thickness of your pinky finger, which that is, it comes up maybe a 1/4 inch above that, you need to cut off the end of this bolt. So I'm going to go cut these off with a hacksaw, and I'll be back. The toilet would still bolt down if you had, if this was too long, but they make little decorative caps to cover the nut and the washer. And if this bolt is too high, your decorative cap will not go on there. So I'm going to go trim these, and I'll be back. Alright, so I've got both of these bolts cut off now. Put these in place. Just tighten down the little plastic washer. Make sure your wax ring is centered in here, right in between these two bolts. You can see straight down through the drain. You're ready to set the toilet in place. So you'll see on the bottom of the toilet, That wax ring is going to sit right in here, and the 2 bolts are going to go through there. So when you set it down, you just want to look through both of these holes on either side and make sure you set it right down over those 2 bolts, and the wax ring will fit perfectly in place. Okay, so now the toilet's on there. It's just sitting on the wax ring. You feel how it's kind of loose. Just want to kind of same pressure, front, back, side to side. Just kind of work that toilet down to the floor. Kind of rock it side to side just a little bit until it's all the way down on the floor. Make sure it looks straight. Looks good right there. And that's it. Next thing we're going to do is tighten down, or put on the nut and then tighten it down. Before we do that, got to get ready for this cap. Okay, so you want to put this plastic washer on first. Turn that way. We'll put on the metal washer. And then the nut. And what I do with these is usually put a socket on it, no socket wrench. Just tighten it down as tight as you can get it by hand. Before you tighten it too much, go ahead and get the one on the other side snugged. And then we'll tighten them down both at the same time. That's it. Done. And you go ahead and put these caps on there. Alright, so now we're ready for the next step, which is putting on the tank on the back of the toilet. So there's these 2 little rubber pieces that will make contact where the porcelain meets porcelain to keep that from grinding together. And that goes on the back of the very back of the toilet. Let me move the camera here. So these go right here on the back. You just kind of sit on there. They don't really clip on. They just kind of grab onto the porcelain there. Next, before we get the tank on, we can go ahead and put the hose on the bottom of the tank. Alright, so I'm just going to lay this cardboard here because I want to be able to lay this where you can see it. So before we put the tank on, we're going to put this hose right here, and it just gets hand tightened, tight as you can get it by hand. You don't need to use any tools on it, so that would break it. And you can do this after you put the tank on. It's just easier while you have it here accessible. And that's it. Right, next thing you want to do is install the bolts into the tank. They're going to hold the tank to the bowl. So the bolts go in on the inside with a rubber washer like this. And you'll need a flat blade to help hold this possibly. But it goes inside the tank. And you'll want to put one of these plastic nuts on here. Again, just hand tighten that, crank it down, just like that. And then do the one on the other side. And then you want to take this rubber gasket and just put right over the top of here, just like that. And that's it. Now we're ready to install the tank on the back of the toilet. And then we just want to put these two nuts onto those two bolts. And again, you just want to have those finger tight so that the tank doesn't move side to side. It will move front to back a little bit, and that's fine. As long as it's not moving side to side, you should be good. Next step is to connect the water line to the valve. Just have to curl this around in a way to get it connected there. You just want to take that down with a wrench or pliers, like a crescent wrench. Okay, now what you want to do is just turn the water on. Make sure you don't have any leaks. When your tank just start filling up, you can go ahead and test out your flushes. You've got your half flush over here on this side. Just push that in. I would say not even half of the water emptied out of the tank here. And then we'll try the larger flush. Much more water that time. So this thing's working great. So we can go ahead and carefully put this lid on. Here's the two rods that will activate the plunger there. Last but not least is the seat. Seat comes packaged in its own kit with the hardware, and it should be pretty straightforward. I'll just knock that out real quick. Okay, so you just unpackage the seat. The back here, this is all one piece. So open up these two flaps. Comes with two little rubber pieces. You'll lay with these, the larger ends towards the bowl, the opening in the bowl, like that. And you'll lay this right in on top of those so they kind of fit in there. Then you have two metal washers. They go in with the large end towards the tank, like so. So you may have to move the seat just a little bit to get all the holes to line up. You'll be able to see straight down through there. And you've got a plastic bolt that'll go in, and you can use a flat blade or Phillips head to turn this. And there's a plastic nut that goes underneath. It'll be turned just like that. And the nut has a tab on it, so you don't have to hold it once you get it started. The tab will hit part of the toilet under there, so it won't turn it, so you can just turn this from the top. Although you may have to hold it for a second there. Doesn't have to be super tight, just kind of, again, just kind of hand tighten. And this is the slow close seat and lid. Alright, that's it. Please like and subscribe. Leave any comments if you have any questions about the Members Mark toilet here from Sam's Club. Or if you have any questions on installation, just drop a note below. Thanks.